OCO and hello America. Hope you are doing all okay. And I thought I would get on here and share some of this, kind of continue with discussing about the mega churches and also about the major events, that are coming in things here in this country and the world abroad. I was going to do some videos and post them, but I'm having a little trouble with my editor on my tablet, that's what I usually do my editing on. So I thought, well, I just need to do this. Now, some of these things that I'm going to show you is current, and some of the videos that I will show you have been taken some weeks, maybe months, and some years ago. But because things is happening too fast right now. It really is. I mean, it's just rapidly happening with, it's just like within hours. I would say 24 hours, every 24 hours, but it seems like it's happening quicker than that. But before we get into everything, I want to ask all of you to please hold up Standing Bear and his fiancee Lisa in prayers. Lisa, especially, because she has cancer, and she's been going in and out of the hospital having troubles, and Standing Bear has said that she's given up, refusing to eat and stuff. And I can understand part of it, with all the treatments and everything else that they do and all that. It can affect your appetite, but also if you give up, you know, uh, man, that's really hard. I know. I remember my father going through it, and my grandmother, my grandfather and grandmother, and my uncles and my aunts, and they have gone on now. They have passed on, and I remember the things that they had to go through, and I understand what you know they are going through right now. So please go to Standing Bear's channel, which is Country Boy Explorer. That's his channel, and if you're on Facebook, I'm sure if you will ask him what his goes by on Facebook, he will give you the name and everything, and you can send him a private message through Messenger. But I would encourage you to encourage them and let them know how much you love them. Now, I know there's some of you that's also subscribed to my other channel, the Warhorse Experience. And there's others that's subscribed to me on that channel that are not subscribed to me on this channel. And I would encourage you to go to those brothers and sisters who know Standing Bear. And please, I beg of you that you will go and give him and her some encouragement and pray for them, okay? They really need your prayers. It's really been hard on them. And yeah, again, I'll say it again. I know I I need to give this up. I know I need to, and I want to, but having a hard time with it. So yeah. Anyway, Let's first, before we get into the other, let's talk about the mega churches. Y'all seen the mega churches? I'm pretty sure you've all heard of them and stuff. The how cool it is, man. It's really cool. It's really awesome. They got the spirit because they shout and they jump and they play entertaining music and they rock. Yeah, headbanging music. You know, you catch my drift, right? Some even speak in tongues, but they're so spirit filled. They'll give you special gifts and treats and everything else. You come to their church and be entertained. They'll give you a prize and this and this and that. On and on it goes. This one and that one's got the truth. We got miracles. We got the hand of God coming down. Oh yeah. You remember those, right? We've all heard of them. So you just keep your hats on and stay a while. And I don't know how long this is going to be. All I can say is try not to keep it too long. Try is the word. But anyway, now on these mega churches, they're what do they call it? Charismatic, and on, uh, and some other uh, denominations are hopping on the bandwagon. They want to get in on the money, honey. Oh yeah, get on the money, honey. Get the money, yeah. And you know what irks me most? Now look, all right. First, let me say this right up front. I do not have any problems or issues with someone dressing nice, you know, and all that, right? But get a preacher that wears suits and shoes that cost more than your brand new car, almost as as what you paid for your vehicle, brand new. You catching my drift. I mean, and a watch. Now I can understand. All right, sometimes people gives you gifts. I know that happens too. But and they talk about how they're for people. They're only for the people to come to their church. If the people fork over money or can somehow, if they don't have the money, can make arrangements. You can work for them, by spreading dogma, spreading falsities and all this, and bribing others and all this to get them to come. But they have to target the ones who's got the money or others that has a special talent that they can use for their own selfish gains. Like Benny Hinn, and I can't remember some of these others' names, but for instance, they had the Spirit come down and showing their blessings on them, and the Spirit came down, the Holy Spirit, and there was gold dust all around. Well, first of all, it wasn't real gold. Another, it was gold dust, and they had two women, uh, two employees, and by now they probably got somebody else to do it, to go backstage around into off to where the air ducts are. Yeah, and put this dust in there so that way when they're on the platform, all the dust to come down. And then not mention the fake healings. And the more they sit there and they get into people's heads and all this. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe there is miracles. There are real miracles. But those miracles from them bunch, you believe that? I tell you what. I have a Rolls Royce, and I also have the deed to all of Europe, and I will sell you an acre of land there in Europe for just a few cents per acre, if you believe that, right? So the question is, why do these people do it? Because they're greedy. Now, have these people always been that way? No, they haven't always been that way. Uh-uh. Not by any means. When they first got started, they had humble beginnings. Most of them. I'm not saying all of them had, but most of them. But somewhere along the line, greed has stuck in. So, yeah, this, yeah. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with churches, you know. But I would say like this, if I was going to go to a church, I'd rather go to one that's small. Yeah, they got their problems too, but everybody's got problems, right? Or you catch my meaning? I mean, first of all, how are they? The only way these mega churches know your names if you're important to them by means of you helping them, especially working close with them to make money. Do they know your name? But how are they going to all know everyone's name? Who is who? And all this. And see, the pastor himself is supposed to attend his flock, not everyone else. But in those mega churches, everyone else is, and you got to have a special appointment. A special appointment. I understand you can make arrangements for a time that's convenient, but not the way they run it, right? All right, now this one thing here, I want to show you. I can't put the sound on it because of copyright and all that kind of stuff. But I want you to pay it. Just watch what you're seeing, right? And this was back in 2020. All right, I can tell you all about them. All right, here we go. Well, jamming down. Now, notice everything they got there, the whole setup, right? I want you to notice everything here. Pay attention. Now, I can, for a brief second, let you hear them. Okay, and now, these people, now this church in particular, came from small beginnings, and then it kind of grew a little bit there, and their first church had burned down. Now, I knew the guy that founded it and was a pastor of the church when it was first got started, from way back a long time ago. I mean, way back when, right? And now the founder was A.O. Holmes. Okay, he was a good man, a very good man. All right, very good. Now, first of all, if he saw, see how elaborate that is? Take a good look at it, right? Uh, you ain't even seen the other stuff that they got in there. I mean, really expensive. And they got two buildings now. Two. Start out with one big one, like kind of like this, and then they got another one they built over there and used the one for like a college, their Christian college. But yeah, yeah, okay. Now, oh yeah, they getting with it. Now, the thing is, somewhere I could go into the whole thing, but I'm going to give you a brief rundown. And well, at some point, they started expanding and growing, and they started from a little church called Buckeye, well, from Buckeye Street. Everyone called it Buckeye, but it was a First Pentecostal church. Okay, they are a oneness Pentecostal denomination. Now they believe that no one else has the truth, that they're the only one. And if you're not going to their church, not believing the way they believe, you're on your way to brimfire and brimstone and hellfire and all that kind of stuff. That's where you're going. Okay, now this I'm going to remove this right now. You've seen it. Okay. All right. Let me get that out of there. All right, just a second. All right. Now these people actually bribe people to come to their church, even offer them for a vacation, and I can get them tickets and stuff, and everything. They, oh yeah, and they are like all these other mega churches. I mean, these people got a lot of people in there, right? And now these people is like some of these others that you've seen, but they will sit there and condemn others for what they are doing. They're real elaborate. If the founder, A.O. Holmes, was alive and knew what was going on in there today, he would get sick to his stomach. Now I know there's maybe only a few people in there that go there, all right, that are good people, but they had some of them had been there since whenever, right? But you got the other ones, he's that's been in there that follow suit. Okay, so they can preach about the money, and they can talk about how fine their church is because they got blessed, because God blessed them. No, they robbed others, and they took it upon their own self, saying, "Thus saith the Lord." That's why they are where they are. And they don't even know half of the members. The pastor, I mean, because he might know some of the older ones who's been there for a while, but all these others, these new people, no. You think he's got time for them? No, we don't. But they got time for your money. Boy, can they really preach it and put on a show. They can get up and spit while they're shouting and preaching loudly and spitting and all this and what have you, and got their hanky. So a lot of them, when if they get a little bit too overheated, they got that hanky. And, you know, there was one church, and it's not even a big church. I seen that's kind of like something like a denominational type church, like this one I just mentioned. And my father used to go to it. Now, my father was one who never believed, for himself, not to wear a suit, let alone a tie. And if there was some occasions, special occasions where, not necessarily a church, but someplace where it might be nice just to have a sports jacket on, a dress suit jacket, then he would have that, but not a tie. Oh, no. But this preacher who was getting power mad because he had visions of grandeur and wanted to be in the mega business and wanted to grow, and he thought, well, he could do it by putting the pressure on. So he sits there and says, quote, that nobody is allowed up to preach or sing up on the pulpit unless they have a tie or suit. My father would play a guitar. That hurt his feelings, made him cry. And I remember there was one fellow, one time there was this one fellow. He was struggling with some issues in his life. I remember him asking, the one that casted demons on him because he's been possessed. That pastor disregarded that, said he wasn't possessed. So he wasn't going to help cast it out. It wouldn't have hurt him to do it. That was his job. He's a preacher. I didn't think he ever believed that there's such thing as demon possession and all that, right? Well, but he believed that there was a devil, but he would preach also against TV, but he had computers, full access to internet, and all the trash that you can get on the internet, right? Well, yeah, that was okay. That's different, but television is trash. Well, television can be good and it can be bad. It has a lot of bad on it. I mean, I don't doubt that at all. I mean, me and you both, all of us have seen it. Got a lot of trash on there. So it's gotten to a point where there's really not a whole lot of good shows on. Hold on. Just a second here. Uh, okay, I just had a flash up that I had a malware threat. Um, anyway, well, I am so sorry about that. That malware thing just popped up, and then they said something, a bunch of other crap popping up. And so anyway, it disconnected me. I want to apologize. That happens, and I don't have high-speed internet. Okay, and I lost my videos that I had prepared, so I got to find all right. Now, the stuff that one church I was telling you about just before I got thrown off of here. The thing is you got a lot of this problem with churches today. Some who want to be like a mega church, and see, their idea of winning souls ain't about winning souls, it's winning your pocketbooks. And some are, it's all about numbers. That's because that's the way it was in the apostles' days. Well, they don't know nothing about Bible history. They'll use all that kind of stuff to make excuse to and twist the scriptures to fit their mad reasoning, so they can become rich and well known and famous and say, look how God has blessed us. Oh yeah. Well, there's things that God, the creator, the great mystery, the great beautiful one, who blesses us with things, and then there's times when we just take it upon ourselves to bless ourselves and then tell everybody God blessed us with it. And some will say that God gave me this brand new car. Well, God didn't give it to them. If God gave it to them, it'd be a gift. And if it's a gift, they wouldn't have to be making payments on it or having a mortgage payments on their brand new house. So yeah, there's much to be said on that stuff, right? But I want to show you another one here. Is on how the mega churches deceive millions. Okay, and I want to share it with you. Okay, and bring that up.
Not all mega churches are bad.
What is the ministry? Well, this is about continuing this process of entertaining and attracting more and more people.
There are more mega churches today than ever before. Not all mega churches are bad, but it does seem like there are major problems with the vast majority of mega churches.
Because God broke the law for love.
That when we share our hope with other people, what we have to offer people is exactly what everyone is looking for.
Why are mega churches so successful? And why are so many of them lacking in solid biblical teaching? The key is that many of these churches prioritize success and numbers above teaching all that the Bible teaches.
And over 500 people have given their lives to Jesus for the first time in this church in the last 5 months. That's over 100 per month.
You catching my drift here, huh? Well, y'all are pretty much familiar with it, but some things you don't know and some things you do know. But hey, but we do know this is man, it is it's real bad.
To achieve success and numbers, mega churches often emphasize entertainment.
I'm praying.
Now, see, to me, I don't know how you guys feel that what this guy here doing. To me, that's when you're in church a place that is supposed to be a place of worship, right? Seems to me like if you was really sincere and really believed in the Creator, you wouldn't be pulling this crap. It's mockery. To me, it's blasphemy. I mean, that's the way I feel. Blasphemy.
About whether to follow through on this illustration. And I hear the Lord say, yes!
And keeping people happy.
I am blessed, prosperous,
And avoid teaching the uncomfortable or controversial parts of the Bible.
Because we try to be like Jesus. Very rarely did Jesus ever talk about morality or social issues.
They focus on exciting, emotional music that creates an environment where people can feel spiritual without ever really committing themselves to the Bible's commands.
I mean, if the beat is right and the band is hot, I can sing all kind of lies.
Yep.
And feel like I've met with God.
According to Voddie Baucham, most churches today have moved away from hymnody and liturgy, which emphasize biblical truth.
I believe there are a number of tools that God gives us. And I think it's interesting that many of these tools we've either redefined or moved away from altogether. These tools that remind us that we are a community that is defined by this pattern of sound words. Things like hymnody and liturgy. Hymnody and liturgy. We've moved away from both hymnody and liturgy. But hymnody and liturgy, it's not just a question of style, and that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm not talking about a question of style. I'm talking about a question of content. The idea that when we gather together week to week, we are not here just to entertain one another. We are not here just to get a spiritual jolt or a shot in the arm. We are here to have our minds renewed, as we just heard earlier, and we are here to be rooted and grounded in these things most surely believed among us. And
you know, I mean, the guy is right. I mean, either you're right or you're wrong. You know, a lot of people will say, well, that's your truth. You know, that's okay. All right, first of all, truth is just truth. Absolutely. Absolute truth is truth. Absolutely. Okay. Subjective truth is not really truth if you think about it. All right. That's on anything. You know, but man, these people with their stealing from people and doing what they're doing, and then they get caught. Well, and it's not just they're caught. I mean, they're caught publicly, and it's all over the news and everything, right? All over the internet and all that. So people curse the Creator, don't believe in the Creator anymore and everything. Why? Because of these mega churches and these hypocrites, these idiots. So they're making a mockery of it, and so no one else can take it serious. The people that they got going to these churches only go to be entertained and to feel good. But I would say this, between going to one of these mega churches or just going to a bar somewhere or a nightclub to get entertained or whatever, you're better off going to those places to get entertained. If you want to get entertained, that's where a person should go. But if you want to go to church on the one hand, That's the place where you go to get connected to the Creator, right? So I'm gonna play just a little bit more, okay? Not much.
What hymnody does and what liturgy does is it says to us, these are those truths that we need to hear again and again and again. They define us.
The purpose of church is not to entertain, but rather to teach all that the Bible teaches.
And I'm afraid that so often when we gather, what we're saying is it has to be new, it has to be fresh, it has to be entertaining. It has to scratch itching ears.
Some argue that this kind of approach to church results in dead orthodoxy, but nothing could be further from the truth.
And I am not talking here about dead orthodoxy, going through the motions. Amen? Far from it. This is not about style, it's about substance.
Most megachurches lack a written confession, which clearly states exactly what the church believes.
I've said it before, I'll say it again, confessionalism. Our confessions remind us of what it is that we believe.
Instead, these megachurches have unwritten confessions, or very short statements of faith, that essentially depend upon the personal beliefs of whoever is leading the church at the time.
So it's not a sin in your church to have an abortion?
That's the kind of conversation we would have, finding out your story, where you're from, what
Work
you
through
believe.
it, like talk it out,
I
maybe.
mean, God's the judge. People have to live to their own convictions, and I think if I have to tell you...
All right, now what he just said was totally false. It sounds good on the surface, okay, to those who are into the abortion or can't decide, and everyone else saying get an abortion. God, this guy supposed to be in the church. All right, you hear what he's saying. This guy, what he said was wrong, very wrong. Problem is, a lot of people don't know what's in the Bible. They've only read a few things, or they have heard the preacher preach some things, and it's about the limit of their knowledge of Scripture. If you want to know what they're saying is true, then you need to have your Bible, the book of heaven, with you, okay? You need to have it with you to understand, to know whether or not what they're saying is true. Problem is, people get deceived too often by these preachers. I don't need to bring my Bible. I don't want people to look at me kind of funny, and I can trust that preacher. Yeah. And they flash scripture up on the screen. You think that? No. Because sometimes, you get these Bible versions like, what do you call that? King James, which is Old English. All right. Now, they keep thinking, that King James only. Well, if you put the original King James, and I'm talking about the original 1611 version, in their hands, they could not read it. I have one somewhere around here. I can read it, but even though I can read it, I cannot understand some things. I mean, and there's a lot, now, I can't. Used to, I didn't understand a lot of it. And like I say, though, there's still some things I don't understand because of the wording. That was like 1611. Okay, let's say you wrote a book, all right, and you want to market it, and it has to be translated in other languages, right? How many would understand what your book was saying if they translated it, and had it everything put into 1611 Old English? No, everyone would be scratching their head and they'd be wanting their money back or burning the books, and you'd be losing out. The book of heaven is meant to be understood. That's why you got different versions, okay? You got the NASB, NSB, the CSB. Boy, there's a lot of B's in there, right? And the Living Bible, you name it. There's all these versions. But only, a lot of people say, well, it's been rewritten. Well, no, the Bible is always, the book of heaven remains to be the same. There's been people who attempt to change it up to their own liking, but these versions I'm talking about, they don't change the Bible, all right? They're not, it's not rewritten in, like, oh, I'm just going to write it down, man. No. Think of it like this. When you give a child a book, when they're first going to school, the type books that are given to them to teach them to read, right? All right, it's done so that they can understand, to help, Well, that's the way some of these versions are. All our way of understanding things is different. What you can read on one book, if you was to hand it to me, I might not understand a dang thing out of it. A long time ago, there was this guy who had a trouble with understanding. He loves, the idea of going to church. He loves the idea of reading the Bible. He said he would read it, but he don't understand it because they always said King James only, right? He never could understand it. So I give him a Living Bible. And it just, to him, it was like, wow, he was really excited over it. And the young man he was in his 20s. He had been in the military. But he could not understand Old English. And there's probably a lot of you who can't understand it. And one thing about Old English, you can make it say what you want to say. But never mind the original translation, you're translating from Hebrew and Greek and I can't remember the other language right off. But anyway, you're translating that into English. Now, a lot of countries today, when you're translating something from, let's say, I don't know, Arabic, Hebrew, Greek, whatever, when you're translating their language into English, all right, yeah, you can understand it, what's there, but see, you're missing a lot at the same time, because there's certain words that in other languages that have different meanings than what we do. But I'm not going to get into all that. But the thing is, these people, like this guy here, he just totally false. That's the way all of those mega churches are. They're false.
And when one leader leaves or steps down, the next leader who steps up might have significantly different beliefs than the previous leader.
And there is not this divide, by the way, in Christianity between churches and ministries who have confessions and churches and ministries who don't. As one writer has put it, the difference is between churches and ministries who have written confessions that are available to be evaluated by all, and those who have unwritten confessions that change from time to time. But we're all confessional. We're all confessional. It's just, is the confession written? Is it there to be evaluated? Is it there for all of us to see so that there can be accountability? Or is the confession just in the mind of the minister? So that if he leaves and goes somewhere or dies, now the next minister brings the confession that's in his mind, and you have division in the church when he says something one day that goes against the confession of the last guy that wasn't written, by the way, so he didn't know it. And now there's a war in the church between.
And he's right on it. I'm going to remove this now. But, you know, you get a lot of this crap goes on, right? And to me, you know, I have respect for true Christianity, like what the apostles and them had and everything, not what you see today. I don't have no respect for this, like, well, you've seen it. Let me see. Where is that one thing I had it? Okay, where is that? I had all this stuff up and then I got booted off. And let's see, where is that? Where is that? All right. Okay. Here's one. It's a mega church, Willow Creek. They had a lot of problems. They had where a pastor was accused of abusing. I don't remember in what way he was abusing, but he was abusing the women, some women in the church, and all this. I mean, you know, that's just crap. But anyway, but this lady, though, she had ambitions. So she more or less gets to, you know, take over, and they try to let on like they're there for everybody, you know, and blah, 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 you know. They got all the new stuff going on, just being a cool church. All right. Now, mind you, what I'm fixing to show you, this is a church, all right, but you tell me. I'd like you to leave your comments and share your thoughts on this. I mean, because this is really bad, real bad. This kind of stuff should not even be in a place that's called a church, right? So, I'm going to let you hear a little bit of this, not all of it.
Also influences how we see ourselves. We profess that we all bear the image of God, but how can we see God in ourselves if we don't see ourselves in God?
I've also been a voice for women in leadership. God gave me the privilege of being a part of helping to build a great and influential church, Willow Creek, where I led the worship arts ministry and also served as a teaching pastor.
If God is only male, if God is only white, what possibilities does that limit for those of us whose identity markers are different? What power structure does that establish in our world? In her book, God is a Black Woman, Christina Cleveland writes about how this narrow view restricts our imagination.
Now, see, this is evidence of the woke movement in the church. That's pretty sad, man.
That's how I understand the American church. Just inherently rotten at this point. The DNA of white supremacy and patriarchy is so baked in. I don't see hope in that space. I think the way forward for me is a burn it down and then burn something new. This is not a structure that can be reformed. But one of the things that I love is starting to see matriarchal spiritual communities coming together.
Mom, I'm curious, did you ever think about introducing your daughters to a feminine expression of God, or is this kind of new territory for you?
This is totally new territory for me. I was raised and always thought of God as my father. However, I really wanted my daughters to both have a rich, robust, accurate picture of who God is. We're all forming some kind of picture of who God is. I think it's a lifelong quest. And none of us has a completely full or accurate picture or understanding of God.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Next thing you know, someone's going to say God is Mickey Mouse. Mm-hmm.
Our individual portraits really depend a lot on the lens we bring to it, on our stories, and what we've experienced in our journey toward or away from God. Many of us have a picture of God that is distant. It stems from an approach to theology called theism, which holds that God is a ruler high in heaven. He's unrelated to our world and our everyday lives. And theism views God as transcendent, dominant, powerful, and as my daughters would say, judgy. What if...
Now, you see where that's going? I'm going to have just a few more minutes of this, and then I'm going to remove this. But you see where it's going, right? You know, even if you don't go to church, you should respect church if it's true. If it's true. All right, but one thing you know from the book of heaven, that is true beyond any shadow of a doubt. But now you got people here want to reinterpret it. Now this is what you call rewriting the Bible, the book of heaven, into their way of thinking. I think it was Jackson, Andrew Jackson, I believe it was. He would read the Bible, yes, he would, but he tore out and removed pieces that he did not like. Literally did it. So anyway, but you got these yahoos. All right, I'm telling you. I mean, no wonder people don't want to have anything to do with church, or why they curse the Creator, right? They curse him. They don't want to believe in him, and I can see why. I mean, this is just crock.
God is not a man. What if God transcends gender?
Oh man, as she screwed up. The Creator is the All-Father, not All-Mother. No. I have read and I have studied the book of heaven. All right. I believe it was Daniel in the Bible, the book of heaven, had described what he saw. He saw not only the Creator, which he referred to as the Ancient of Days. He didn't describe a woman, okay? And when Moses and Aaron were sitting up on the mountain, they ate with God. Abraham, or you'd say Abraham, he ate with God. Okay? There wasn't no woman there, all right? Now, but see, they want to put, the people are wanting to rewrite the book of heaven to make it fit their own ideals. And as we read in the Gospels and in the Revelations, people like this especially got a lot to answer for, because, well, you know, it just sickens you. You got this woke movement even in the churches, and a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot. And this is one, the mega churches.
Is there anything to the idea that God is not only Father, but also Mother? How would our picture of God and our relationship to God be different and more whole if we could embrace this idea of God as Mother as well as Father?
American Christianity is new to this conversation about the divine feminine, and therefore, so are me and my mom. It's just important to name, we come to this as cisgendered women who have been formed by the image of God as Father. So today we hope to simply open up some new possibilities that are beginning to set us free.
You know, I've been really surprised by how often Scripture paints a picture of God as Mother. Some of that female imagery became obscured or altered in translation, but here's a few of the verses that reveal God as Mother. First, from Deuteronomy, you forgot the God who gave you birth.
No, this is an idiot, a fool. A fool. And this is why people don't want to have anything to do with church, okay? That's why a lot of people believe that it's just a myth, you know, and all this. It's because of this and other stuff that they brought in. I'm not going to do anymore. I'm going to remove this. It's just pretty bad. Twisting scripture and retranslating it into their own ideas, and their main goal is their true God, or gods, plural, one being money. You know, so yeah, I mean that's pretty bad. Okay, now I want to pass on over that. There's more I could say on all this and show you, but you know, that's the problem with mega churches, okay? They're a disaster. And I would say, because through history, back in the days when the apostles were living and upon this earth, churches were not like what you got today. They didn't have visions of grandeur to have big churches, but eventually, somewhere along the line, after the apostles died off, then you had some who had greed and all this, and they wanted to start changing it and start thinking about power and all this, and it's just bad all the way around. But the book of heaven is true. Everything that's written in it is true. And I can say this real quick. Church can be in a barn, your home, out in the woods, out in a field somewhere, wherever people that are believers, true believers, right? That is, by every definition of what the Bible says, that's what the church is. It's don't consist of a building. All right, and if you got a little church somewhere, you know, or somebody's holding church in their home, you're better off going to those places than to a mega church. But with everything that's coming, you mark my word, all these mega churches is fixing to take a big hit in a major big way, okay? Because there's a lot of stuff I got to cover, but I'm not going to get to cover it all tonight. But all right, I got another video here I want you to see. I'm gonna cover different things here, but here's one where, if I can find it, this one. Oh, and there's a link in the description. check that video out, and you know, if you like the guy's channel, subscribe to him. He has good information and stuff on there. But anyway, check this one out. All right, and listen to this. I'd like to hear your opinions.
We're introducing legislation to implement a national freeze on handgun ownership. What this means is that it will no longer be possible to buy, sell, transfer, or import handguns anywhere in Canada.
That's that Justin Trudeau, in case you didn't know, that fellow there in Canada.
In other words, we're capping the market for handguns.
Oh, excuse my language, but this is some crazy shit. Oh, excuse my language one more time. Justin Trudeau, excuse my language, okay? Please forgive me for my language. But Justin Trudeau, whatever his name is, he is a crazy. I want to keep it clean, but it's hard for me to keep it clean, okay? He is crazy as fuck. Oh, excuse my language. That's some crazy shit. Now, y'all know I normally don't talk like that, but this is crazy. This man is a dictator. And if you live in Canada, listen, you might want to get the hell out of Canada because it might get really dangerous there. This is crazy. This is absolutely insane. I'm glad I don't live in Canada. But you know what he doing?
Me too.
That's exactly what these Democrats want to do here in America. They want to do that too. They want to come for your guns. But
exactly. They want to come for our guns. Now, it just seems like to me the administration that is currently running this country right now, all right, has visions of doing what Trudeau is doing and what's done in some of these other countries. All right, I feel sorry for the other countries that are not allowed to have a gun. Problem is that they don't have a solution. It ain't working. And no matter what you do to try to ban guns, and you go and you take people's guns, all right, you're not going to stop the bad guys. They're still going to come into your home and kill you, hurt you, whatever, take anything and everything you got, and ain't nothing can be done about it. And trying to get the police to do something under that kind of law, yeah, that's a bunch of hooey-dooey. I'm gonna tell you right now. Now that's a bunch of crap. That's all there is to it. And these idiots, because of that incident that happened in Texas, their solution is, let's get rid of the guns. That's what they're putting on. And the thing is, or so let's change the rules about on purchasing a handgun. But the thing is, people don't understand, it won't stop there. Their ambition, and this is a communist rule from 1919, and this is what they're following. Let me share this. I shared this before with you, but okay, where is that? I'll find it right here. Oh yeah. See right here it says, call it the communist rule for revolution. And the one thing here with this, like what you're seeing about what's going on about the handguns, and a lot of these people don't know it, is cause the registration of all firearms. Now this is from 1919, mind you. Cause the registration of all firearms on some pretext with the view of confiscation of them and leaving the population helpless. Okay, and that's what's going on. All right, and let's say, all right, maybe you call yourself a patriot. Some of you who do call yourself a patriot, an American. Don't matter what your skin color is, you're in this country, you're an American. All right, so here's the thing. My people were forced to give up their weapons and everything. They took the food, their source of hunting away from them, their food away, and took their weapons away. And I'm talking about the indigenous peoples of Turtle Island, or America, right? Look what happened. All right, and you look at all these other countries, right, where these people have done that. Look at the problems they have. But see, the thing is, in this country, they want these communists, and that's what they are, socialists and communists. They're kind of hand in hand there. That's what they want. They want this country to be no longer free. Want to take away everything you got, because they keep emphasizing about the Great Reset and what was that, the world order, and they keep pushing that. That's what they want. Your red, white, and blue flag that you love so dear, do you think honestly that you're going to continue to have that? That's going to be gone one day. The thing is, I would say to any Canadians or Americans, I would say this: if you value your freedom, like especially to the Canadians, I would sit there and say, you know, you're allowing this person, if you're allowing this guy to get by with taking your guns, all right, I can just say this: you don't have no room to start complaining when the hammer falls down. And I'm talking about this hammer is one of those sledgehammers, right? When it comes down, you ain't got no room to complain then, because you allowed it. All right, what is a militia for, huh? Why people honestly don't know what the guns were for? And someone said, well, what do you need an AR-15 for hunting? No, it's not for hunting. It's for protection. And it is to protect from tyranny. That was what the amendment was written there for. Here in this country, that's what that was there for. You remove that, and you allow these people to rewrite the Constitution and change the amendments to reinterpret it as they will. If you don't see, that's what the weapons are for, to keep rogue representatives. I'm talking about rogue, and these people trying to change the laws and trying to pull a dictatorship on the people. That's where militias is supposed to step up to the plate. That's where people should have their arms to protect themselves from tyranny. I'm not talking about going out and rioting and acting like a bunch of heathen like a bunch of them other groups have been doing. You got a bunch of them who just actually believe communism is the answer. No, it's not. But if you're an American, and those in Canada, if you're true Canadians that love freedom, you'd stand up and do something. You wouldn't sit back and just let it happen. It's better for a person to go down fighting for freedom than to allow someone to harm you in your family. And that's what it would be. I mean, look what they've done with the food and the gas and everything. And it's not stopping. And, oh, you can save money on gas, get an electric car. Sure. Okay. All right, Mr. Sleepy Joe, or the ones who's pulling his strings, let me just say this. Are you going to buy everyone a car out of our tax money? Huh? Are you going to do that? I didn't think so. They won't. But that's their answer. And people go, yay! All right. You think about what's going on. You're talking about a total, absolute collapse. Everyone wants to say recession. Wrong. It's a depression. And it's getting worse. It's not getting better. Now, you're going to have some to try to tell you a bunch of lies, tell you that it is. And people will believe a lie quicker than they will believe the truth. No, and I ain't wearing no dang stupid aluminum hat either. I don't believe in conspiracy theories. I believe in facts. And these are facts, what's going on and what's happening and where we're heading. And next time that I come on live, I'm going to share a lot more. This is just on the live here, on this coverage, on the major events that's coming. That's happening and coming. Some of you might know some of these things, or kind of might have heard or something, or some of you may know. But still, leave your comments. You can agree. Feel free, you can disagree. But always keep it civil. You know, respect goes a long ways, you know. Keep it civil, all right? But share your thoughts on this, right? I mean, don't be afraid to share your thoughts. Just, speak up. Now, right now, I know there's a lot of live streams going on, but I wanted to come on and share some things with you. I have a lot more stuff, next time I come on. It's going to really, with some of you, it's going to be a shocker. But what it comes down to is, what are you going to do? What are we going to do? Because, see, like, for those of us, all right, for example, on social media, all right, and it's coming, trust me, one day you're not going to find you have a YouTube channel, or should I say, you're not going to be able to get on the internet, one, two, or the other, or both, whichever. But the thing is, it all amounts to the same thing. All right, because this stuff's coming. So the question is, what are you going to do? All right, and as much as those others who thought about going full-time on YouTube, that's kind of a poor time to do it. With the economy being the way it is, it surprises me that people will buy things from others on these other channels, all right, that's out here. All right, big prices. Who can afford it? Only the filthy rich, right? And those who have plenty of credit cards to put yourself more in debt to the man, right? See, you know, people set in a don't think. All right, if it was normal times, normal, there's nothing wrong with the stuff that people have on their channels, you know, their merch and selling it. But the prices on there right now, there's things that you can get that you need, right? You need. I'm not talking about I wants, because there's a lot of I wants with all of us, me, you, and all of us. But we always have to, when it comes down to, is way down in our minds and our hearts and stuff to know what it is that we are needing that is important in this time, this crisis that we're in. And we're thinking about, well, as my father would say, foolish things, things that's not important, which is okay to have if things was normal. But when you have this stuff that's going on now, people are buying and selling things. Okay, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'll sell things, but I ain't going to sell it at a price where somebody can't afford it. Especially with the stuff that's going on now. And so, I mean, you have to really think about what are we going to do? And then one day, once YouTube is no more, and it will be, and YouTube will be no more, and once that happens, then what? You socked in, you know, put your hopes and dreams into having a full-time YouTube channel. That normally, in normal circumstances, there's nothing wrong with that. But with the current crisis going on, well, I'm not saying don't stop doing videos. I mean, I still will, but you know, until the time comes, and then we're not going to even have it anymore or whatever. You know, that's a little different thing. But I'm just saying, think about what you're doing or what you're going to do. What is your plans? How, I mean, are you thinking about things that are more important than the I wants? You know, like, you know, versus I need and then I want. See what I'm saying? You know, I've been out trying to invest my money in the I needs, not a I wants. I see a lot of things I want, but I got to know what's more important, especially now. Especially now with the current crisis that we are going through. All right, and I want to say this one thing. Don't forget to remember Standing Bear and Lisa, his fiance. Do not forget them too in your prayers, especially for Lisa. And give especially Lisa some encouragement. Don't be mouthing and just talking out your butts. You just come out, yeah, I'm being straight up and forward, right? So, you know, just be honest from your heart. encourage them. Don't talk out your butt and just be talking. Just say what's in your heart, to encourage. And pray, for them. They need it. And if you're thinking about maybe, I don't know, buying something foolish, as my father would say, thing is, you got to think about what's important, and also helping others is important. So think about helping Standing Bear, with on Lisa, there, helping them both. Because the hospital bills is expensive. The cancer, and I hope if you got a heart and you have a little money to spare, I suggest you go to his channel and try to get a hold of Standing Bear. Or you can write to me. Hold on. Let me get wherever that is. Oh, hold on. Well, see where it says write to martywarhorse@gmail.com. So, yeah, this channel used to be called Old Fart Talk, but I changed it. But anyway, just send me an email. And I can get a hold of him, tell him, that you're trying to get a hold of him. And then, you can do what you can to help him. Now, he did not ask me, but he's my brother, okay? He's family. So I hope that you will reach out and help him. But he has here on YouTube, his channel, Country Boy Explorer, okay? Country Boy Explorer. All right, so anyway, you be sure that you, I'm going to put here in the chat, here, his name of his channel. Okay, there you go. There is his channel right there. That's the channel name. You can look up on the search here on YouTube. Find him. And help him. Help them both. And then give them some encouragement. I'm sure some of you had family that you have lost or have. They was lost to cancer, or they are maybe currently battling cancer or something, or someone who is. But reach out and help Country Boy, Standing Bear. Help him. Please. All right? It won't hurt you to help them, because that's a big burden on them. And you know yourself, those bills don't pay themselves. So if you can, please help them and give them some encouragement. So anyway, I want to say I love you all, and I thank you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I thank you for dropping in and listening. I am sorry there for one point. I got bumped off here. There was some thing here popped up on my computer and ended up, I lost it, and I had to come back on, and sorry about that. But anyway, please, whatever you do, always think before you act, before you do whatever it is you're going to do, to think about it, and to always have a good heart. All right, and do this. if you're not a true friend or a true brother or sister to somebody, do not call them friend. Do not call them brother or sister, because that's being false, okay? Because there ain't nothing more heartbreaking than people backstabbing others and everything, which I've seen on social media big time, especially on YouTube. It don't get you nowhere. Just a hard way to go. And there's enough troubles in this world like it is. Drama, that should only be on soap operas. And I hate soap operas. But anyway, we need to think about what we're going to do and what our responses to everything that's going on, and what it's going to be, how we're going to handle it. What is the answer to it all? But I'm going to be sharing more things to you. As far as on these lives, I would say this is the first part. Now, I'm not going to do any more on the mega churches, all right? I kind of finished that off. I did a little bit on another video, but anyway, but I mean, because you got the troubles in the mega churches, and that's bad. It's a sad statement of society that we live in, that even in the churches, that you got scum in there. That's sad, right? And then out in society, yeah, you got it. All right, so, but anyway, I want to say, remember this: love one another, care for one another. You know, you got a neighbor, maybe they're unable to work, you know, they're handicapped or they're elderly. Check up on them, help them in any way possible. In this crisis, people need to help each other. Don't have this mentality, it's survival to the fittest. That's a bunch of crap. And if you believe in that, you're not my friend. If you honestly believe that, you're not my friend. You're a selfish, mean, dirty, no good for nothing. That's all there is. You gotta, you know, it's not about thinking about just yourself. What goes around comes around. And you're gonna act like that, you ain't gonna last very long. Because your number will be coming up. And it happens to all of us. At one point or another, it does come. You know, as they say, karma will bite you and bite you hard. Or as they say, you reap what you sow. I would rather sow a little bit of kindness and love and caring from the heart, truly. I'd rather sow that than have that mentality and cold-heartedness on survival for the fittest. It's about me and just my family and nobody else. Everyone, I don't care about others. It's just about me. You ain't gonna last long. That's my take on it. But share your comments and your thoughts, all right? So, I want to just say thank you for watching, and please hit the like and subscribe. While we still got YouTube, I need, everything counts, on the, trying to get this channel to grow, and with the stupid algorithms and stuff, but hit the like and subscribe if you will. But anyway, don't be afraid to share your thoughts. Feel free. If you want to disagree, you can. Whatever, just keep it civil. All right, so take care, be blessed, and I love you all. And until the end, I will see you in the funny papers. Okay. Later, y'all. Aho and wado.